This is Slimsy at your service. Welcome to My Man! Well, everybody, I'm back with another rant today. Last time I ranted to you all about the problem I'm having with Hollywood. Today, I'll be touching on a different issue altogether. Dating apps for mobile devices. So despite the fact that smartphones have existed now for over a decade, before this month, I was one of the few remaining human beings on this planet that did not own one. Before this, I had prepaid cell phones, but they weren't touchscreen smartphones capable of running the apps we all know and love today. For years, I just couldn't afford them, but finally, with the most cost-effective plan made available from the Straight Talk service, I finally decided that it was possible, and time for me to jump in. To just jump to another subject here temporarily, before I had my first girlfriend, who I'm no longer with, I had been single for a very long time. I always struck out with girls when I was younger. It wasn't that I didn't like them, but that they always seemed to have a problem with me. From the time I was in kindergarten, there was always some little cutie out there I had my eye on, but at the same time there was always something about me that made me unappealing in her eyes. The loneliness and permeating feeling of isolation I felt from the opposite sex continued into my adulthood, and somewhere around that time, applications for dating and meeting new people in general were released and made available for mobile devices. And I would hear the stories of people who used Tinder and Bumble both successfully and unsuccessfully, and I would envy the crap out of them because even if a romance between the two involved parties didn't happen, these folks at least got as far as meeting the other person face to face, and this was with people that they met on their phones. And back then, I was trying to do the same, except with people I found on my laptop in the local section of meetme.com, for example. And back then, whenever I met someone interesting that I tried to arrange some kind of meetup with, the person always ended up either flat out canceling on me or standing me up altogether. The point of me telling you all this is that because of all the hard luck I had back then, I always thought to myself, man, if I could just afford one of those smartphones, I could go on Tinder or Bumble and then probably have so much better luck. Unfortunately, I tend to believe nowadays that my younger self was mistaken. Now that I have a smartphone, yes, I have been trying my luck on Tinder and Bumble for a good couple weeks now, and I have yet to even strike up a conversation with a woman on there, or one that didn't turn out to be a spam bot. The first thing I noticed is that to really take advantage of these applications' features that have the highest probability of flagging down a woman's attention, for example, Super Like on Tinder and Super Swipe on Bumble, these apps force you to graduate from their free versions to their paying versions. In other words, to get the most out of what these apps have to offer, you gotta cough up some money, pal. I find this to be a very unfriendly and unfair way to treat your user base, since most people who use Tinder and Bumble are on there because they can't afford to use other dating services like Match.com, eHarmony, and Adult Friend Finder, which cost an arm and a leg. While these apps do have slightly more affordable options of these aforementioned features, it still strikes me as asinine to charge for them in the first place, given the ridiculous amount of potential clientele they are alienating in doing so. I'm sorry, but the best things in life are free, okay? Therefore, I have no desire to fork over money to an online service just for the possibility of meeting the love of my life. It would be one thing if they could guarantee that happening, but they cannot, and so it is therefore just a possibility. Even more disconcerting is the outrageous number of catfishes and spam bots on these apps. I'll say this much in favor of Bumble: at least they have a feature where you can take a selfie and in your selfie emulate the same posture and position of a randomly selected human being from this other selfie that they give you that appears on your phone screen. This is the process of how they verify that you really are the person in the photographs of yourself you upload and not a catfish. Tinder, however, has no such feature. which unfortunately renders it a gathering place for catfishes and other associated ne'er-do-wells. Not good. Apart from this, one of the biggest knocks against these apps is that the girls on them tend to sign up for them, create their profiles, and then never do anything with them after that. If you don't live in a larger city area like San Francisco or NYC, finding a match with either Bumble or Tinder is extremely problematic, to say the least, because all of these girls tend to put their Snapchat and Instagram usernames in their written bios, leave them there and say, hey, if you want to talk to me, you can hit me up there. So in addition to having already downloaded and installed dating apps that are in and of themselves frustrating, I also have to download and install other apps just to talk to most of these women. I've never had any interest or inclination towards Snapchat or Instagram before this point. Why must I start messing with them now? Snapchat is alright in terms of its fun factor, although there are certain aspects of it that really grind my gears. Instagram, however, primarily seems to cater to that crowd of attention-seeking teenagers who insist on photographing every moment of their daily lives and sharing it with the whole world. And you can do that just as well on Facebook, so no, I never saw the point in getting it. Ladies, I may not be among what you would consider the most attractive men on the planet. I'm aware that if you were to put me in a magazine full of supermodels, I would stick out like a sore thumb. But I don't want to have to download and install other apps on top of other apps just to talk to you. I already have texting, I already have Facebook, I have both the Tinder and the Bumble messaging system at my disposal. I don't need anything else. Other apps are just going to take up more space on my phone that I could be using for games and entertainment, which is what I prefer to use the extra space on my phone for. So those are all the main reasons I find mobile dating apps frustrating beyond belief. If you agreed or disagree with this video, please let us know why in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. All opinions are welcomed, be them concurring or dissenting. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That really helps support our content. And if you really enjoyed this video and are interested in seeing others like it, you can hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing, don't worry. And if you hit the notification bell to double subscribe, you can have a notification sent to your email every time the My Man channel uploads a new video. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, this is Flimsy Slimsy of My Man, signing out.